In the town of Rochdale in the north of England, a genuine national treasure exists. It is a place where a tremendously important movement was born, the Co-Operative Movement. In 1844, a group of Rochdale workers, tired of poor food and living conditions and inspired by the social reformers such as Robert Owen, formed the Rochdale Society of Equitable Pioneers. They rented a shop at 31 Toad Lane and began to sell high quality basic foodstuffs like butter, flour and oatmeal. And like in many co-ops today, the members who shopped there were given a share of any profits made. Today, housed in the same building as this very first shop, the Rochdale Pioneers Museum celebrates and preserves the historical importance of this great story. Okay, I've arrived in Rochdale and I'm on South Street. The bus station is on my left, the tram station is on my right, and I'm going to take you to the Pioneers Museum now. Hi. Yeah. Oh, and is this the Rochdale Pioneers Museum?
Yes, this is the Rochdale Pioneers Museum.
Okay, can you tell me a bit about this particular room? What's in it?
Okay, so welcome to the museum. This is the very room where the very first successful consumer cooperative was started by the Rochdale Pioneers, opening its doors on the 21st of December 1844 at 8 o'clock at night. Because many of the people in Rochdale, including most of the pioneers themselves, were working throughout the day. And what you can see here is a replica of the original shop and how the pioneers started. So opening in this room, they had simply 2 beer barrels and a piece of wood, as you can see displayed here. And what they were selling was butter, flour, sugar and oatmeal, as they were your 4 main foodstuffs that you would buy and eat as a working class person.
The main exhibition space shows the beginning of the movements from the earliest efforts of the cooperatives to the Rochdale Pioneers and their legacy.
At the top you can see there's a set of values, 6 values, they're known as the cooperative values. The pioneers used these in essence in everything that they did. They believed that the people of Victorian Rochdale had to help themselves and bring themselves out of poverty. And these are still used today, self-help and self-responsibility.
During the school holidays, the museum runs a free event known as Pioneers Wednesday, where activities such as art, crafts, face painting, book readings and more take place. But the museum also attracts visitors from further afield.
We have many international visitors that visit the museum. The majority are from Japan. Japan has got one of the largest cooperatives in the world, it's Senkyurin, and they like to visit us throughout the year. The majority of our visitors will come June, July, but we like to host them at the museum, and they're very excited to be here as cooperation is a big part of life over there. I have an image here I'll just like to show you of a replica of Toad Lane that was built in Kobe. It's used as an educational establishment. I believe it's a college. We haven't seen it. None of us at the Cooperative College or at the museum have seen this building in real life, but we were lucky enough to be given an image from one of our Japanese cooperators that came a few years ago. So we'd love to show this to the public and to show that actually our museum isn't just in Rochdale, it's in Japan too.
The strong bond between the museum and the people of Kobe can be felt just outside the museum entrance. A stone lies here to commemorate the tragic death of over 6,000 people in the 1995 Great Kobe earthquake. In addition to Japan, visitors also come from closer shores.
It's a part of our history because we work in a cooperation. There's the whole history, the history about how the pioneers started the cooperation, how working men could do this. That's the interesting part. The museum itself, it's fun to be here, but it's the whole history about it, the story that they tell that are interesting.
The Rochdale Pioneers were not the first to organise themselves in this way. Other cooperatives had existed before, but they struggled to be sustainable. The Rochdale Pioneers instigated and formulated 7 rules known as the Rochdale Principles, which made their cooperative viable. This created a kind of blueprint for other cooperatives to start up and to be sustainable. It is for this reason that Rochdale is known as the birthplace of the cooperative movement, and the principles are still used worldwide today.